I'd like to give voice today to the 1099 tax filer, the so-called gig worker, represented perhaps by my nephew-in-law, Charles, with his two young children, Ivan and Cherish. He's a driver for either Uber or Lyft. I don't remember which one, but that's how he makes his living. And I can relate to that because for 30 years I've been mostly a 1099 earner. I've been a gig worker. I started my career 30 years ago in the real estate business. My first year in business, I made less than $2,000. My second year in the business was just under $20,000.
Representative from the 97th, address your comments to the chair, please.
I am. Yeah, I'm just motioning. I'm a hand gesturing kind of guy. You'll have to pardon me for that. And these are hard workers. These are people who are dedicated to their business, their line of work. They're independent thinkers. They keep their nose down, Mr. Speaker. They nose to the grindstone kind of thing. And many people who have never been 1099 workers, Mr. Speaker, many people don't realize the burdens that are placed on them. They can't file unemployment insurance for unemployment. They don't get that benefit that many other workers do. They don't have the benefits of company-provided health insurance and things like that. They have to provide for them those things themselves. What many people who aren't 1099 workers also don't realize is that they have to pay their taxes by writing a check to the state government and to the federal government through quarterly tax payments. At least it's advisable to do quarterly tax payments. Otherwise, you face a really, really big bill in April, and I've faced that challenge before. And what a lot of people don't realize is not only do they have to write that check personally out of their checkbook, out of their bank account, they see thousands of dollars going away in four fell swoops, real big swoops, but they not only have to pay the state income tax and the federal income tax, but they also have to pay the employer portion of FICA as well as the employee portion of FICA. It's what John Madden would call a double whammy, Mr. Speaker. These are hardworking individuals who take great risks, and oftentimes, Mr. Speaker, face very little reward in the beginning. They're nose to the grindstone folks that really, honestly, they're so busy trying to make ends meet, and I can tell you, I've lived through it. You're so busy trying to make ends meet that you're not even, you're not in a position where you're really benefiting from your state government. I mean, you're not utilizing any services of state government. You're not thinking about state government. All you see is the money that you're sending to state government. And yeah, we get it. We understand that, we need to do some things as a state, education and safety and security and parks and things like this. These are important things. I'm not diminishing them. But every now and then, it's nice if the state could acknowledge the hard work and say, you deserve a break. You'd think that when our economy's growing and people we're seeing expansion in our economy and things are taking off, that there'd be a compensation, there'd be an adjustment where we'd recognize that, okay, our economy is bigger in 2023 than it was in 2020 or 1993 when I started my real estate career, Mr. Speaker. You'd think there'd be an acknowledgement of that and say, okay, we can, because the pie has gotten larger, we can maybe reduce this rate a little bit and give those hardworking 1099 folks a little bit of a relief. And some people say, well, it's not enough to make a difference. Look, $700, $800, $1,000, $500. I can remember for many, many years the vacations that I could take my wife and my two girls on was a camping trip during summer because we could afford to buy a tent and we could afford to pay the state park dues. That was our vacation. That's all we could afford. Our hardworking taxpayers in Wisconsin deserve a break. We have the capacity. That's been demonstrated here already. We have the capacity as a state. We had, I think the total spending in this state budget that we passed recently was an 11% increase, I think it was. 11% increase. Families can't just increase their budget 11%. But somehow we as a state can afford to increase our spending by 11%. And then we're going to be stingy and say, no, you make $29,000 a year. You don't get any tax relief. Really? We're not going to offer the hardworking taxpayers of the state of Wisconsin a little bit of a tax relief because we think that 11% spending increase is not enough? Those 1099 earners, Mr. Speaker, deserve that tax break.